quaint village nestled at the edge of a vast, frozen lake. There lived a young maiden named Anya. She was known throughout the village for her gentle spirit and kind heart, but above all else, she was renowned for her love of animals. One frosty morning, as Anya made her way to the lake to collect firewood, she stumbled upon a magnificent white duck trapped in a net, its feathers shimmering like freshly fallen snow in the morning light. Moved by compassion, Anya rushed to free the duck from its entanglement, her fingers trembling with urgency. As soon as the duck was released, it spread its wings and soared into the sky, circling gracefully above Anya before coming to rest at her feet. With a soft coo, it nuzzled against her leg, its eyes sparkling with gratitude. From that day forth, the white duck became Anya's constant companion, accompanying her on her daily tasks and bringing joy and laughter wherever they went. Together, they roamed the forest, exploring its hidden wonders and forging a bond that was as strong as it was pure. But as the seasons changed and the days grew shorter, a darkness began to creep into the village. Crops withered, and food grew scarce, leaving the villagers weary and downtrodden. Determined to help her neighbors in their time of need, Anya set out to find a solution, with the white duck faithfully by her side. Through wind and snow, they journeyed to the ends of the earth, seeking out the wisdom of the ancient spirits that dwelled within the heart of the forest. At last, they came upon a wise old crone, her face weathered with age and wisdom. With a twinkle in her eye, she revealed the secret to restoring prosperity to the village, a golden feather hidden deep within the lair of a fearsome dragon. Undeterred by the perilous task that lay ahead, Anya and the white duck set out on their quest, braving treacherous mountains and darkened forests in search of the dragon's lair. With each step they took, their bond grew stronger, their determination unwavering in the face of danger. Finally, they reached the dragon's lair, its walls towering high above them like ancient sentinels guarding a long-forgotten treasure. With a deep breath, Anya stepped forward, her heart filled with courage as she faced the fiery beast that stood between her and the golden feather. But just as the dragon prepared to unleash its wrath upon them, the white duck stepped forward, its feathers glowing with a radiant light. With a gentle coo, it whispered words of peace and understanding, its magic weaving a spell of harmony that softened the dragon's heart. Moved by the white duck's kindness, the dragon relinquished the golden feather, its scales shimmering in the light as it bowed its head in respect. With their mission complete, Anya and the white duck returned to the village, their hearts filled with triumph and joy. As the golden feather was placed upon the village altar, a miracle occurred, the crops flourished, and the land was once again filled with abundance and prosperity. And though the white duck's time in the village was fleeting, its legacy lived on in the hearts of all who had been touched by its magic, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can bring about the greatest of miracles. In a kingdom where the winds carried whispers of magic and the rivers sang songs of old, there lived a humble woodcutter and his 3 sons. The youngest of the sons, Ivan, was born humpbacked, but he possessed a heart as pure as gold and a spirit as wild as the wind. One day, as Ivan wandered through the forest, he stumbled upon a wondrous creature, a little humpbacked horse with eyes that sparkled like stars. The horse spoke to Ivan in a voice as soft as a summer breeze, offering to grant him 3 wishes in exchange for his kindness and compassion. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Ivan wished for 3 things: a bag of golden apples to feed his family, a cloak of invisibility to protect them from harm, and the ability to speak the language of animals, so he could understand their secrets and wisdom. With a flick of its tail, the little humpbacked horse granted Ivan's wishes, filling his hands with golden apples, draping him in a cloak that rendered him invisible to the eyes of men, and bestowing upon him the gift of understanding the language of beasts. With his newfound gifts, Ivan returned to his village and set about using them to help those in need. He shared his golden apples with the hungry, protected the innocent with his cloak of invisibility, and listened to the tales of the animals who roamed the forests. But as Ivan journeyed through the kingdom, he soon learned of a great evil that threatened to destroy the land, a fierce dragon that terrorized the countryside, laying waste to villages and devouring anyone who dared to stand in its way. Determined to put an end to the dragon's reign of terror, Ivan set out on a quest to find the creature and vanquish it once and for all. With the help of his little humpbacked horse and the wisdom of the animals he had befriended, Ivan braved the perils of the forest and confronted the dragon in its lair. In a mighty battle that shook the earth and rattled the heavens, Ivan and the dragon clashed, their fates intertwined in a struggle of light against darkness. But with courage in his heart and the support of his friends, Ivan emerged victorious, driving the dragon back into the depths of the earth from whence it came. And as the kingdom rejoiced in their newfound freedom, Ivan was hailed as a hero, his name spoken with reverence and gratitude by all who knew his tale. And though he returned to his village once more, his adventures were far from over, for wherever there was darkness in the world, Ivan would be there to bring light and hope to those in need. In a kingdom shrouded in mystery and enchantment, there lived a young prince named Alexander. With hair as black as the night sky and eyes as blue as the deepest ocean, Alexander was the pride of his kingdom, beloved by all who knew him. One day, while exploring the forest that bordered his father's realm, Alexander stumbled upon a dazzling white snake, its scales shimmering in the dappled sunlight. Entranced by the snake's beauty, Alexander reached out to touch it, only to recoil in shock as he heard the snake speak in a voice as soft as a whisper. "Fear not, young prince," the snake said, "for I mean you no harm. I am the white snake, guardian of the enchanted forest, and I have been waiting for one such as you to come." Intrigued by the snake's words, Alexander listened as it spoke of a great evil that threatened to engulf the kingdom and the need for a hero brave enough to stand against it. Determined to prove himself worthy of the white snake's trust, Alexander embarked on a quest to vanquish the darkness that loomed over the land. With the snake as his guide, he journeyed deep into the heart of the forest, facing many trials and tribulations along the way. Yet, with each challenge he faced, Alexander grew stronger and more determined to succeed. With the white snake's guidance, he uncovered ancient artifacts and mystical powers hidden within the forest, using them to overcome the forces of evil that sought to destroy the kingdom. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, Alexander's legend grew, his name whispered in hushed tones by those who revered him as a hero. And though the road ahead was fraught with danger and uncertainty, Alexander knew that as long as he had the white snake by his side, he would never falter in his quest to protect the kingdom and its people. And so, with courage in his heart and the white snake at his side, Alexander continued on his journey, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead and to emerge victorious in the battle against darkness. For he knew that true heroism lay not in the strength of one's sword, but in the purity of one's heart and the steadfastness of one's spirit. Once upon a time, in a cozy cottage nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there lived a gentle mother goat with her 7 young kids. Each day, the mother goat would venture into the woods to forage for food, leaving her kids safely at home. One day, as the mother goat set out on her errand, she warned her children sternly. "Beware of the cunning wolf who roams these woods," she cautioned. "He may try to deceive you, but do not open the door to anyone until I return." The kids nodded solemnly, promising to heed their mother's words. But no sooner had she disappeared into the forest than a sly voice called out from the other side of the door. "Little ones, it is I, your dear mother," the voice crooned. "Open the door and let me in." The youngest kid, curious and trusting, bounded towards the door, but his siblings held him back. "Wait," they cried. "Our mother's voice sounds strange, and her footsteps are heavy. It must be the wolf in disguise." The wolf, undeterred by their suspicions, tried a different approach. "My dear children," he pleaded, "your mother has sent me to bring you a sweet treat from the forest. Open the door, and I will give you a delicious treat to enjoy." But the clever kids saw through the wolf's ruse. "Our mother would never send a stranger to bring us treats," they declared. "Go away, wicked wolf, for we shall not be fooled by your tricks." Enraged by their defiance, the wolf plotted his revenge. Under the cover of darkness, he slunk through the forest, seeking a way to gain entry to the cottage and devour the unsuspecting kids. But the mother goat, sensing the danger, hurried back home as fast as her legs could carry her. Bursting through the door, she found her children huddled together, trembling but unharmed. "Mother, the wolf came and tried to trick us," the kids cried, relief flooding their voices. The mother goat gathered her children close, her heart filled with gratitude and love. "You have shown great courage and wisdom, my darlings," she praised. "Together, we shall remain vigilant and protect each other from harm." And so, the mother goat and her 7 young kids lived happily ever after, their bond of love and unity stronger than ever. And though the wolf continued to lurk in the shadows, he never dared to come near the cottage again, for he knew that the power of family was a force to be reckoned with. In a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and murmuring streams, there lived a kind and compassionate queen. Her greatest joy was her 11 sons, each more dear to her heart than the last. Yet, one day, a dark shadow fell upon the royal family when an envious sorceress cast a wicked curse upon them. The queen's sons were transformed into majestic swans, their princely forms replaced by feathers of purest white. Heartbroken and desperate to break the curse, the queen embarked on a quest to find a way to save her beloved sons. Guided by the wisdom of the forest and the kindness of strangers, the queen journeyed far and wide searching for a remedy to the sorceress's curse. Along the way, she encountered hardships and trials, but her love for her sons never wavered. One day, deep within the heart of an ancient grove, the queen met a wise old woman who spoke of a magical flower that bloomed only under the light of a full moon. Legend had it that the petals of this flower possessed the power to undo any curse, but its location was known only to the spirits of the forest. Undeterred, the queen set out once more, her determination renewed. With the help of the woodland creatures and the guidance of the moon, she searched tirelessly for the elusive flower, her heart filled with hope and longing. At last, on the night of a full moon, the queen stumbled upon a hidden glade bathed in silver light. There, in the center of the glade, stood the mystical flower, its petals shimmering like stars in the night sky. With trembling hands, the queen plucked the flower and held it aloft, her eyes brimming with tears of joy. As the moon cast its gentle glow upon her, she whispered the names of her sons, each syllable a prayer for their salvation. And lo, as if by magic, the swans descended from the sky, their feathers transforming back into princely attire. The curse was broken, and the queen's sons returned to her arms, their hearts overflowing with gratitude and love. Together, they returned to the kingdom, where they were greeted with jubilant cheers and celebrations. The sorceress's evil spell had been vanquished, and peace was restored to the land once more. But the queen never forgot the trials she had faced or the lessons she had learned. For in the darkest of times, it was her unwavering love and courage that had guided her through, proving that even the most powerful magic could not stand against the bonds of family and the strength of the human spirit. Once upon a time, in the land of shimmering deserts and ancient cities, there lived a young prince named Amir. Despite his royal lineage, Amir longed for adventure beyond the palace walls, yearning to explore the world beyond the horizon. One fateful day, as Amir rode through the bustling marketplace, he stumbled upon a wondrous sight: a magnificent horse with a coat of purest white, its mane and tail flowing like strands of silver in the breeze. Drawn to the horse's beauty and grace, Amir knew that he must make it his own. To his amazement, the horse spoke, its voice soft and melodious. "I am no ordinary steed, but a magical creature gifted with the power of flight," it said. "With me as your companion, you can journey to the farthest reaches of the earth and beyond." Eager to embark on a grand adventure, Amir mounted the magical horse, its wings unfurling like those of a majestic bird. With a mighty leap, they soared into the sky, leaving the world below behind as they ventured into the unknown. Together, they traveled across vast deserts and towering mountains, exploring hidden valleys and ancient ruins. Along the way, they encountered fierce beasts and cunning sorcerers, but with the horse's magic and Amir's courage, they emerged victorious from every challenge. As they journeyed onward, Amir discovered the true power of friendship and trust, forging a bond with the horse that could never be broken. Together, they laughed in the face of danger and reveled in the beauty of the world around them, their spirits soaring high above the clouds. But as their adventures drew to a close, Amir realized that the greatest treasure of all was not found in distant lands or glittering jewels, but in the companionship and loyalty of his magical steed. With a grateful heart, he bid farewell to the horse, knowing that their bond would endure for all eternity. And so, Amir returned to his kingdom, his heart filled with memories of the wondrous adventures he had shared with the magic horse. And though he ruled as a king, his spirit remained forever free, soaring through the skies on the wings of friendship and love. In a kingdom far away, where castles touched the clouds and rivers whispered secrets to the trees, there lived a young prince named Julian. He was known throughout the land for his bravery and kindness, but despite his many accomplishments, he longed for adventure and excitement. One day, while wandering through the forest on horseback, Julian stumbled upon a curious sight: a pure white cat with eyes as blue as the sky, sitting atop a fallen tree trunk. Intrigued by her beauty, he approached the cat with caution, wondering what secrets she might hold. To his surprise, the cat spoke to him in a voice as soft as silk, revealing herself to be no ordinary feline, but a magical creature known as the White Cat. She offered Julian a chance to embark on a quest that would lead him to great riches and untold treasures, but only if he proved himself worthy of her trust. Determined to prove his courage and worth, Julian accepted the White Cat's challenge and set out on a journey through the enchanted forest, aided by the light of the moon and the whispers of the wind. Together, they faced many trials and tribulations along the way, from treacherous paths to dark and forbidden caves. But through it all, Julian remained steadfast and true, his determination unwavering in the face of adversity. As they traveled deeper into the heart of the forest, Julian discovered that the White Cat was no ordinary creature. She was the guardian of a hidden kingdom, a realm of magic and wonder hidden from the eyes of mortals. Moved by her trust and friendship, Julian pledged to help the White Cat reclaim her kingdom from the clutches of an evil sorcerer who sought to claim it for his own. With courage and determination, they faced the sorcerer in a final showdown, their hearts filled with hope and their spirits unbroken. And as the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the land, Julian and the White Cat emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever before. Together, they ruled over the enchanted kingdom, their days filled with laughter and joy, their hearts united in friendship and love. From that day forth, Julian and the White Cat became legends throughout the land, their tale told and retold by generations of storytellers. And though their adventures may have come to an end, their bond would never be broken, for true friendship was the greatest treasure of all. In the land of Norway, where the fjords stretched like silver ribbons and the northern lights danced in the sky, there lived a young princess named Astrid. She was known throughout the kingdom for her beauty and kindness, but despite her many suitors, she remained unmarried, for none could capture her heart. One winter's night, as Astrid gazed out at the snow-covered landscape from the window of her castle, she spotted a magnificent white bear roaming through the forest below. Intrigued by its beauty, she watched as it moved with grace and power, its fur shimmering in the moonlight. To her surprise, the bear suddenly stood on its hind legs and spoke to her in a voice as deep as the ocean. "Princess Astrid," it said, "I am Valeman, the White Bear King. I have come to claim you as my bride." Though initially frightened, Astrid felt a strange pull towards the bear, and she found herself agreeing to accompany him to his kingdom beyond the mountains. As they journeyed through the frozen wilderness, Astrid discovered that Valeman was no ordinary bear. He was a powerful king under a magical curse, doomed to spend his days in the form of a bear until he could find a maiden pure of heart to marry. Despite her initial apprehension, Astrid grew to care for Valeman deeply, admiring his strength and courage, and the bond between them blossomed into love. But their happiness was short-lived, for as they reached Valeman's kingdom, they were confronted by the evil queen who had cursed him. Determined to keep Valeman for herself, she cast a spell that banished Astrid to a distant land and imprisoned Valeman in the form of a bear once more. Heartbroken and alone, Astrid searched far and wide for a way to break the queen's curse and reunite with her beloved Valeman. With the help of kind-hearted creatures and wise old wizards, she journeyed through enchanted forests and treacherous mountains, facing trials and tribulations beyond imagination. At last, after many trials and challenges, Astrid discovered the secret to breaking the curse, a kiss of true love from Valeman himself. With courage and determination, she returned to the queen's palace and faced her adversary once more. In a dramatic showdown, Astrid confronted the queen and demanded that she release Valeman from his curse. And as she kissed the bear, a brilliant light filled the room, and Valeman was transformed back into his human form, his true self revealed to all. With the queen defeated and their love restored, Astrid and Valeman returned to their kingdom, where they were greeted with joy and celebration by their subjects. And though they had faced many challenges along the way, they knew that as long as they had each other, they could overcome any obstacle that stood in their path. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the rivers flowed with silver and the forests whispered secrets to the wind, there lived a young prince named Alexander. He was known throughout the land for his bravery and kindness, but his heart longed for adventure beyond the palace walls. One day, as he rode through the forest on his noble steed, Alexander stumbled upon a beautiful lake shimmering in the sunlight. And there, upon its banks, he saw a sight that took his breath away: 7 swans gliding gracefully across the water, their feathers as white as freshly fallen snow. Entranced by their beauty, Alexander approached the swans with caution, his heart pounding with wonder and awe. But as he drew near, a sudden gust of wind swept through the forest, transforming the swans into 7 maidens, their faces radiant with a light that seemed to come from within. Startled by the sudden transformation, Alexander watched in amazement as the maidens danced and twirled around him, their laughter like music to his ears. And though he knew that he should return to the palace, he found himself unable to tear his eyes away from their enchanting beauty. For days, Alexander returned to the lake, drawn by the magic of the swan maidens and the promise of adventure that lay beyond. And with each visit, he grew more captivated by their grace and charm, longing to join them in their dance. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Alexander began to realize the truth: the swan maidens were not of this world, and their time in the mortal realm was fleeting. Determined to prove his love and devotion, Alexander made a vow to the swan maidens that he would do whatever it took to set them free from their enchantment and allow them to return to their true form. And so, with a heavy heart and a spirit filled with determination, Alexander embarked on a quest to break the curse that bound the swan maidens to the lake. Through perilous forests and treacherous mountains, he journeyed to the ends of the earth, seeking out the wisdom of sages and the magic of ancient beings. At last, after many trials and tribulations, Alexander discovered the key to breaking the curse: a single feather from each of the swan maidens, woven together into a cloak of purest white. With trembling hands, Alexander gathered the feathers and returned to the lake, where the swan maidens awaited him with hope in their hearts. And as he wrapped the cloak around them, a brilliant light filled the air, and the curse was broken. With tears of joy streaming down their faces, the swan maidens embraced Alexander, their hearts filled with gratitude and love. And as they bid farewell to the mortal realm and soared into the sky on wings of freedom, Alexander knew that he had found his greatest adventure of all, the adventure of true love. In in a far-off land where the moon danced upon the waves and the stars twinkled in the night sky, there lived an owl and a pussycat. The owl, with feathers as white as snow and eyes as wise as the ancient trees, yearned for adventure beyond the forest's edge. The pussycat, with fur as soft as silk and a playful spirit, dreamed of sailing the seas and exploring distant shores. One moonlit night, as they gazed upon the shimmering ocean, the owl and the pussycat made a daring decision. They would embark on a grand adventure together, setting sail in a beautiful pea-green boat adorned with silver bells and golden sails. With the gentle breeze guiding their way, the owl and the pussycat sailed across the vast expanse of the ocean, their hearts filled with excitement and wonder. Along the way, they encountered playful dolphins and majestic whales, who greeted them with songs of welcome. As they journeyed onward, the owl and the pussycat encountered a host of curious creatures, from dancing crabs to singing seagulls, each adding to the magic of their adventure. And as the days turned into nights and the nights into days, their bond grew stronger, forged by the shared joy of exploration and discovery. Finally, after many weeks at sea, the owl and the pussycat arrived at a distant island bathed in the light of the full moon. There, beneath the swaying palm trees, they found a hidden treasure trove of pearls and precious gems, glittering like stars in the sand. With hearts full of gratitude and wonder, the owl and the pussycat gathered the treasure into their boat, knowing that their grand adventure had led them to the greatest treasure of all, the bond of friendship and the beauty of the natural world. And so, with the moon as their guide and the stars as their companions, the owl and the pussycat sailed home, their hearts overflowing with joy and their spirits soaring high above the waves. For in the end, they had discovered that the greatest adventure of all was the journey of friendship, love, and the magic of the world around them.